It's your boy Karis, and today we're going to be running a clean lap on all 12 of the 2023 AMA Pro Motocross Outdoor Tracks and MX vs ATV Legends. Shout out to RXR Noxious for inspiring me to purchase this DLC, repeatedly sending me messages such as, "Legends is sick, it is awesome," and the 2023 tracks are a major upgrade over the 2022 tracks, night and day difference. And honestly, I'm glad RXR Noxious was on my case because the 2023 AMA tracks are sick. This quite possibly could be one of the best DLCs in dirt bike video game history. First up, we got Loretta Lind's ripping through the 10 commandments right now. It's 10 rollers. They're super deep, super tough, so many different lines. Personal favorites, quad, double out. I didn't quite get it in this video. Loretta Lind's in Hurricane Mills, Tennessee, one of the most iconic dirt bike tracks ever. Loretta's, of course, being famous for being home of the AMA Amateur Motocross National Championship every year since 1982. And in this video, you'll probably notice we're going to be ripping around on the stock Suzuki RMZ 450. This is because I recently purchased a 2023 Suzuki RMZ 450 in real life. And you know I got to represent for the Banana Bandits and RM Army worldwide. As much shade as Suzuki gets thrown at them for the kickstart and lack of innovation, and it's the same thing every year, the RMZ 450 is a beautiful bike, and Cowboy Kenny made it look pretty dang good in first place at MX of Nations this past weekend. Next up, we're headed to Ironman in Crawfordsville, Indiana, a short drive from the motorsports mecca that is Indianapolis. A true natural phenomenon, Ironman Raceway doesn't just offer up elevation change, it offers some of the biggest, steepest combination of jumps and hills in the entire outdoor motocross series, including Godzilla, a massive uphill jump we are approaching right now. And I did say, I do really like this DLC. MX vs ATV Legends hasn't been my favorite game, but I gotta give so much kudos for actually putting the Godzilla statue thing on the Godzilla jump. There is a level of attention to detail that is coming out of Rainbow Studios with their continued DLC, which I have to say, you sold me the game more than a year ago. Still providing content's paid, but it's appreciated. Rainbow Studios does deserve credit for having actual dirt bike racers in their studios, giving input and them actually listening to it. Just doing these small touches, sometimes big touches, trying to make sure super realistic. Ironman, super incredible dirt bike track. I absolutely love this straightaway where you go under the tunnel. I could not even imagine being a fan at the race. It's got to be so cool watching these guys go by 60 miles an hour. Hayden Deegan doing the gap, all that. Even as I'm just sitting here watching this gameplay right now, I want to say, not only do these tracks feel good, they've been rendered beautifully. All around, I'm having a pleasurable experience ripping around on these tracks. So next up, we're headed to Budds Creek in Mechanicsville, Maryland, where the AMA hosts its pro motocross race every year on Father's Day. Budds Creek hosted its first national in 1989, where Jeff Ward held off Jeff Stanton to win the inaugural Budds Creek National. Since 1989, Budds Creek has developed rich motocross history. Fun fact, James Bubba Stewart and Ricky Carmichael are the only two racers to have ever won at Budds Creek on small bikes and big bikes. James Stewart, of course, is famous for his 2003 win at Budds Creek, where he crashed at the start, finally rounded the first corner in dead last by a large margin, and went on to pass every single other rider on the track, taking the victory. James would go on to win every moto for the rest of that outdoor season. Budds Creek is a gorgeous track that benefits from its natural hilly terrain and the green forest backdrop. It's super fun. I honestly feel fortunate to live in a timeline where I can watch the AMA Pro motocross races on TV, hop on my Xbox, and then just play the same tracks. If you've been watching the channel, you know that I have complained previously about the physics of MX vs. ATV Legends. My biggest complaint generally has been the game just doesn't look that good when it's played well, because the guys who are good at it go so fast that it's just like hyper unrealistic. And maybe I'm bad at the game, maybe. But the spacing on these tracks in this downloadable content package is so good. I mean, the sense of speed matches the size and scope of the jumps. Like, I really don't have a whole lot to complain about here. So again, just great job, Rainbow Studios. Now, I do highly recommend going to grab this downloadable content if you have not already. Moving on to Unadilla, New Berlin, New York. Along with Budds Creek, Unadilla has developed a rich history in motocross, hosting AMA Nationals every year since 1989. Perhaps the most famous incident ever at Unadilla occurred in 2005 when a move that can only be described as poor judgment by James Bubba Stewart. James attempted a pass that led to him landing on Ricky Carmichael's back, causing both riders to go down hard. James Stewart was knocked unconscious. Ricky Carmichael actually picked Stewart's bike up off of his bike, remounted, went on to finish 2-1 for the overall victory that weekend. But perhaps my favorite story to come out of Unadilla occurred in 2002 during James Stewart's rookie season. Prior to this race, Chad Reed told the media that he could run at James' pace if he got a good start. In response, 16-year-old James Stewart laid off the throttle during the first moto, allowing Chad Reed to pass him, basically waving him by. Then, Bubba repassed Chad Reed and pulled away in an especially demoralizing fashion. Red Bull has named this win as the most epic win of James Stewart's career. Nestled amongst a forest of fir trees, Washougal Motocross Park rests just south of a national forest and north of the scenic Columbia River, which acts as a boundary line for much of Washington and Oregon. Washougal hosted its first outdoor AMA National in 1980 and has become iconic since, being one of the most photographed and commercialized motocross tracks in the world. Despite being described as the most Instagrammable track in America, in real-life racing, riders consistently complain about going into and out of the trees and how the constant barrage of shadows from the evergreens affects their vision, especially when the track already has a deep and loamy, rich brown color. Rainbow Studios captured the overall feel and vibe of Washougal so well within this track map that occasionally you can't really see the track below you. Fun fact, Ryan Dungey is the winningest racer in Washougal's extensive history, having 5 overall wins to Ricky Carmichael's 4 and Eli Tomac's 3. I could be wrong about Eli Tomac. Honestly, I don't know. Someone in the comments, go tell me I'm wrong. I know y'all love running the comments telling the YouTuber guy that he's wrong. Please, by all means, now is your chance. How many times has Eli Tomac won at Washougal? I don't know. I don't know. Ricky Carmichael won here 5 times. Pretty dang good. That's all I know. Washougal is sick though. Shout out B15MX. It's his local track. We don't play video games together anymore. But I have an inkling suspicion he's going to watch the video. Just, I think he might. But yeah, Washougal, Very sick track. I mean, I wish it was my local. Loamy, dirt, more slippery than you might anticipate actually. Super sick track though. And just like that, we're sending it over the Holy Schmidt. S-C-H-M-I-T, Schmidt. Finish line jump at Spring Creek in the Mississippi River Valley in Millsville, Minnesota. Don't you know? The name of the finish line being attributable to the local legend Donnie Schmidt. Ricky Carmichael is the all-time winningest racer at Spring Creek with 8 Premier Class wins. He never finished worse than first place in the Premier Class at Spring Creek. His most notorious win, and perhaps the most notorious win in motocross history, came in 2006 when Ricky Carmichael lapped the entire field in the second moto. Another notable moment in Spring Creek's history was Chad Reed's 2011 crash on the catapult jump right there, in which he was in the air for so long. Jason Wygand called the crash as it was happening, got out several sentences before Chad Reed finally hit the ground, and in a crash that appeared to be possibly a career-ending crash, Chad Reed remounted the bike. He was in 14th when he got back on, moved all the way up to 5th, overall salvaging his points lead for the rest of the season. As we descend Mount Martin here, I should note Spring Creek is actually owned by the parents of Jeremy and Alex Martin. So if you're sitting at home thinking you want to be a next great pro dirt bike racer, just go to your parents and very politely ask that they purchase one of the nicest motocross tracks in world history. In 1976, AMA Motocross Nationals added the so-called toughest track in America to its national tour. We're talking about the WIC 338 in Southwick, Massachusetts. Southwick is considered the toughest track in America because of how insanely sandy it is. In the game, more roost can be noted at Southwick, but I'm not sure Rainbow Studios captured the feel of the front end washing out as one would expect in the deep sand. Then again, if my only real complaint about this DLC is that the track is not sandy enough, then I'll go ahead and say this is the best motocross video game downloadable content ever. Similar to Spring Creek, Ricky Carmichael is famed at Southwick for having won 8 straight Premier Class races at Southwick from 2000 until 2007. Must be 4th of July because we're headed to Redbud, Buchanan, Michigan. Personally, I've never been to Redbud, but I like to imagine I'd be wearing a straw hat and drinking a whole ton of cervezas while I was there. Historically, Redbud is the largest race of the AMA motocross season, and it is very well known for drawing the rowdiest fans. Finishing off at Redbud here, running into Loracco's Leap. Loracco's Leap was built in 1991, and it is still the longest jump on the AMA circuit, stretching out 120 feet long. The jump is named after Mike Loracco because the jump was inspired by a jump called Kong on Mike Loracco's personal track. Loracco was the first to clear Loracco's Leap ever. He did so on a 125. Despite having a jump there named after him, Mike Loracco never won a pro race at Redbud. And just like that, we're headed to High Point Raceway outside Mount Morris, Pennsylvania, where the track weaves through a deep valley, treating riders to large jumps and constant elevation changes. Pro motocross began at High Point in 1977, and High Point has developed a rich history in motocross ever since. Shout out to Jalik Swoll, who won 250s here in 2021. With slippery off-camber corners, no section of this track is completely flat, making it a challenge both in the game and real life. High Point is commonly referred to as a moto theater because its largest jumps are all situated in a manner that they can be seen easily by all spectators from the main spectator area. Ricky Carmichael won at High Point every year from 2002 until 2007. Y'all got any guesses who beat him in 2000 and 2001? Let me know in the comments. Should be noted James Stewart ended Ricky Carmichael's win spree here in 2008. James Stewart did not manage to win again at High Point until 2014. Thunder Valley in Lakewood, Colorado is one of the newer tracks on the AMA National Tour, hosting races since 2006. The first ever AMA outdoor night race occurred at Thunder Valley in 2008, which is honestly pretty dang cool. Those Saturday night lights hit different. 2008, of course, being the year James Bubba Stewart won all 24 motos in the premier class. Totally candid with you guys, Thunder Valley and Fox Raceway are my two least favorite tracks in the game. I did not care for them very much on the original MX vs. ATV Legends DLC. Honestly, I did not expect to enjoy the 2023 maps either, but I really do feel like they've been a pretty strong step forward in the correct direction from last year's track pack. I think this is the best motocross DLC ever, probably. It's so much fun being able to do the AMA outdoor tracks. Rainbow Studios really put their heart into this project, and it shows, and I do recommend you run to the Xbox store, PlayStation store, whatever, Steam, get the DLC, run these tracks. They're super fun, they're built well, lots of replayability here. Next up, we're headed to Hangtown, and it should be noted that motocross racing began at Hangtown in 1969. Nice. just like that, we saved the least for last. That's right, we're at Fox Raceway in Pala, California. Fox Raceway hosted the season finale in 2010 and 2011. The AMA did not return to Fox Raceway until 2019. Frankly, I'd much rather AMA race Glen Helen than Fox Raceway, but whatever, they didn't really ask me, you know? I hope you have all enjoyed the video. I certainly had a whole ton of fun making this. Hopefully I'll see you guys online in some public lobbies racing these tracks. Certainly appreciate you all watching the video. I look forward to catching you all again very, very soon. Until then, take care, stay out of trouble, go fast, have fun, peace y'all.